the kingdom of Zuma, King Omar's sleepless curse is driving his realm to ruin, and only a young girl named Yara, with her pure heart and the power to solve an ancient riddle, can save him as she embarks on a dangerous journey into the mountains, touching glowing stones and facing eerie whispers. She must uncover the truth hidden deep within the kingdom before it's too late. Will she succeed, or will Zuma fall into darkness? In the vast kingdom of Zuma, nestled between the mountains and the sea, King Omar had not slept in months. His insomnia had grown worse each day, and no matter how many advisors, healers, or magicians were called upon, nothing seemed to work. The king's once strong and vibrant appearance had faded, his eyes red and sunken. The kingdom was slowly crumbling under his restless reign as his decisions grew erratic and his temper fierce. One day, Yara, a young village girl from the outskirts of Zuma, was summoned to the royal palace. Her parents had always told her stories of the ancient ways and the secrets buried deep within the kingdom. It was said that a child, pure of heart and untainted by the world's worries, could solve the riddle that even the wisest couldn't decipher. The king, desperate and with no other options, called upon her. The task was simple yet daunting. Find the secret to the king's sleep. Little did Yara know that this quest would take her beyond the palace gates and into the heart of the kingdom's deepest mysteries. Yara arrived at the palace and was led into the royal chambers, where King Omar sat on his throne, his face twisted in exhaustion. The room was cold and dim, with tapestries on the walls that depicted scenes of prosperity and peace. King Omar looked down at the young girl and sighed. "Do you believe you can help me, child?" he asked, with a weak voice. Yara nodded confidently, though doubt crept into her heart. She had heard tales of the royal family's downfall, of the curse that plagued the king. She wasn't sure if the answer could truly be found in the kingdom's old stories, or if it was just a legend. The king handed her an ancient scroll, its edges worn and fragile. "The answer lies within the riddle," he said, pointing to a verse that had been passed down through generations. "In the heart of the mountain, beneath the stone, the secret to sleep is what must be known. A child shall find it, a heart pure and true. Only then will the king's rest be renewed." Yara's journey had just begun, and the riddle was more puzzling than she had anticipated. Yara left the palace that evening, her heart pounding with both fear and excitement. The riddle had stirred something inside her, something ancient, something forgotten. As she walked through the palace gates, the cool night air seemed to whisper to her, as though the very kingdom knew of her mission. She was told that the answer lay within the mountains, but what did that mean? The riddle spoke of stones and hearts, but how could a young girl like her possibly uncover a secret so deeply buried? The journey to the mountains was treacherous. As Yara ventured deeper into the forest surrounding Zuma, she felt a strange sense of calm wash over her. It was as though the forest was guiding her. Strange creatures watched her from the shadows, their eyes glimmering with curiosity, but offering no harm. Her path was lit only by the faint glow of the moon. Yet, every step she took felt purposeful. She was not alone in this journey, though she did not know who or what was guiding her. The following morning, Yara reached the foot of the mountain. The peaks stretched high into the sky, shrouded in mist. It was here, in the heart of the mountain, that the answer to the riddle was said to lie. As she climbed the rocky path, she noticed that the mountain was not as silent as it seemed. The wind carried faint whispers, soft and unintelligible, like voices from another time. At the summit, Yara came upon a circle of large stones, arranged in a pattern she did not recognize. As she stepped closer, A cold shiver ran down Nin's spine. The stones were ancient, older than anything she had seen before. One of the stones had a peculiar symbol etched into its surface, an eye with 3 waves beneath it. She touched the stone, and for a brief moment the whispers grew louder, as if the mountain itself was trying to speak to her. Yara closed her eyes, allowing the voices to fill her mind. As the whispers faded, Yara opened her eyes to find an old figure standing before her. The figure was a woman, her skin wrinkled with age, but her eyes bright with wisdom. She was dressed in simple robes and seemed to radiate an aura of peace and calm. "You are the child sent to heal the king," the woman said, her voice soft yet firm. "The riddle you seek to solve is not one of the mind, but of the heart." Yara stepped back, startled. "Who are you?" she asked. "I am the keeper of the stones," the woman replied. "I guard the ancient knowledge that flows through the earth. The answer you seek is not far from you, but it lies within the deepest corners of your soul." She paused, her eyes narrowing. "But be warned, child. The journey you undertake will test your heart. Only those who are truly pure in their intentions will find what they seek." With a flick of her hand, the woman disappeared, leaving Yara alone in the mountain's quiet expanse. Her heart raced as she tried to process the cryptic message. What did the woman mean by purity of heart? And why was this test so important? That night, as Yara camped near the stones, she had a vivid dream. She found herself back in the royal palace, standing before the king. But this time, his eyes were filled with sorrow, and his face was aged beyond his years. He spoke to her in a voice that echoed through the chambers of her mind. "I suffer, child, because I cannot find peace. But the true peace lies within you. Only you can give me the rest I crave." Yara awoke with a start, drenched in sweat. The dream had felt so real, so vivid. But what did it mean? Was the king truly speaking to her in the dream? Or was it a message from the mountain itself? She realized that the riddle was more than just a puzzle. It was about finding the truth within herself. The next day, as Yara wandered further into the mountain, seeking answers, the path became steeper and more treacherous, and as she climbed higher, the air grew thinner. But despite the physical strain, Yara felt a deep sense of peace within her. She had no fear. There was something about the mountain that felt familiar, as if it had been calling to her her entire life. After what felt like an eternity, Yara reached a cave hidden behind a waterfall. Inside the cave, glowing crystals lined the walls, illuminating the space with an otherworldly light. In the center of the cave stood an altar, and upon it lay a small golden stone, pulsing with energy. As Yara approached it, she felt a warmth in her chest, her heart beating in time with the stone. She reached out and touched it, and in that moment, everything became clear. The riddle had not been about finding an object or solving a puzzle. It was about finding the truth within herself. With the golden stone in her hand, Yara returned to the palace. As she entered the king's chamber, she saw him sitting on his throne, his eyes wide and fearful. "Have you found it?" he asked desperately. Yara nodded, placing the stone in his hands. The moment he touched it, a calm washed over him, and for the first time in months, he closed his eyes and fell into a deep, peaceful sleep. But the peace was not just physical. As the king slept, a sense of serenity filled the palace. The kingdom, once tense and troubled, seemed to breathe a collective sigh of relief. Yara realized that the secret to the king's sleep had not been the stone. It had been her own belief in herself, her purity of heart, and her willingness to help others without expecting anything in return. As King Omar slept peacefully, Yara stayed by his side, watching over him. She felt a deep sense of fulfillment, but also a strange sadness. She had solved the riddle, yes, but the journey had changed her. She had learned to trust herself, but now that she had helped heal the king, she was uncertain of her place in the world. She had learned to believe in her own strength, but was that enough? When the king awoke the next morning, his eyes were no longer filled with the pain of insomnia. Instead, there was a softness in his gaze. He looked at Yara with gratitude, but also with respect. "You have given me something more than sleep," he said, his voice calm and steady. "You have given me peace. I will rule with wisdom now, knowing that the kingdom's true power lies in its people, not in the throne." Months passed, and Yara's presence in Zuma remained as a quiet beacon of hope. The kingdom had healed, and so had she. She began working with the children of the kingdom, teaching them the lessons she had learned on her journey. Lessons about peace, love, and finding strength within oneself. Yara had finally found her true calling, and it was not to seek approval or recognition, but to help others find the peace that she had found within herself. The king, now rested and wise, had become a beloved ruler. His reign, strengthened by the peace Yara had brought, prospered. He no longer ruled with a tired heart, but with one full of love and understanding. And though Yara had long since solved the riddle that had brought her to the palace, she understood now that the greatest riddle of all was the one we solve within ourselves. Calm, and as the kingdom of Zuma continued to flourish, Yara smiled, knowing that the true peace in life is not found in solving the world's riddles. It is found in the quiet peace that resides in the heart of every individual.